Justice must never be for sale.
Well, I don't know what you mean by sincere point.
The bench must never become a sanctuary for compromise.
I want to commend the president for coming out to tell the entire world that he has no hands in what is going on in the judiciary.
Corruption in any form or any arm of government weakens the nation, but corruption in judiciary destroys it to the core.
That is to say, he has told the entire world that any judicial officer that committed anything should go in for it. Nobody should call the president. What do I mean? The president has exonerated himself before the world. The ball now stop at the table of the judicial officers, because I will continue to say this thing. There's one Justice one Justice that allowed himself to be messed up during the time of Obasanjo. Now Obasanjo has left after 8 years. Now some judges also messed themselves up during the time of Buhari. Buhari has now left. The dent is with those judges. So the point we are trying to make is that a judge, if there is a case before you and you look at the law, you give judgment. Don't look at the president. Because if you are looking at the body language of the president and you commit judicial impunity, you will be the person to bear it. Thank God that Mr. President have told you, anything that you know that is right, do it. Don't look at my body language. Whether it is sincere, whether it's not sincere, but the world is now before the entire world that the president of Nigeria have said that he has distanced himself from judiciary. That judiciary should be independent. Once there is any case against the government and you know that the government erred, give judgment against the government. If there is any case against Mr. President, give the judgment against Mr. President, because Mr. President has exonerated himself on the 17th day of November 2025. He told the entire world before the judiciary, do what is right. Don't look at my body language. Whether the case involves Nnamdi Kanu, whether the case involves anybody, give judgment in line with the law, not looking at the body language of the president. That is what I make out of that particular speech.
All right. So as we wait for tomorrow being the 20th day of November 2025, which is the day that has been set for Nnamdi Kanu's judgment. Oh yes. One of Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Maxwell Obara, has come out to clarify more on what the president said about concerning the judicial system of Nigeria. Of course, you know, a couple of days ago, the president of Nigeria, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, came out and addressed the judges, telling them not to say justice in Nigeria, to be fair, in fact, to abide to the constitution of Nigeria. So Maxwell Obara has come out to, clarify that, to say, okay, since the president has said this, okay, look at what we are expecting on the case of Nnamdi Kanu. So please, I want to beg you to spend a little time and listen to him, because he said a lot. Of course, tomorrow is just going to be hot, and I'll be here live and direct to give you all the information. In fact, everything that will be happening there, I will give it to you live and direct. So all you need to do is just to do well to subscribe to this channel if this is your first time coming across my channel, right? So please, I want to beg you to spend a little time and listen to him. Then you drop your comment in the comment section as we wait for tomorrow, which is the D-Day. Please listen to him.
Thank God that Mr. President have told you, anything that you know that is right, do it. Don't look at my body language. Whether it is sincere, whether it's not sincere, but the world is now before the entire world that the president of Nigeria have said that he has distanced himself from judiciary. That judiciary should be independent. Once there is any case against the government and you know that the government erred, give judgment against the government. If there is any case against Mr. President, give the judgment against Mr. President, because Mr. President has exonerated himself on the 17th day of November 2025. He told the entire world before the judiciary, do what is right. Don't look at my body language. Whether the case involves Nnamdi Kanu, whether the case involves anybody, give judgment in line with the law, not looking at the body language of the president. That is what I make out of that particular speech.
Now, but shouldn't we also be concerned about transparency in judicial appointments and promotion, seeing as this sometimes could be politicized in Nigeria? How do we curb that?
Yes, that is we have been shouting on it, because the problem we're having in judiciary now is through the selection process. I want you to, you are an investigative journalist, go and check the appointment of judges you have for the past 10 years. You cannot see a daughter or a son of a Panwan Tapa there, no matter how qualified that person may be. The people that you will see their names, the daughters and the sons of judges, politicians, and the people that matters in the society. So the selection process matters, because you can't be talking about judicial integrity. You are not talking about looking at the selection process. I think Professor Charanchi and some other persons, Joe Silas and some other persons kicked against that the other day. We are not saying that if somebody is qualified simply because the person is the daughter of a judge, that will not appoint him. That's not what you're saying. We are saying that let the persons whom you appointed as judges, let them come and face Nigerians. There's nothing secret about it. We should know their competence, because as I'm talking to you, there are some judgments that you will see coming from some judges, especially all these young ones. You ask yourself, what is happening? Where the law will tell you that 1 + 1 is 2. A judge will now give a judgment telling you that 1 + 1 is 3. So you will now discover that either the judge don't understand the law, or the judge must have collected a gratification somewhere, or because of his interest. So the selection process matters. I think the NBA is doing something about it. If you appoint some people as judges, they should come and address, if not any other person, they should come and address the members of the bar and the members of the press, so that people will put questions across to them. So that one also matters. And also what the CJN said on her own. The CJN said that people should stop criticizing judgment of courts. Mr. CJN, it doesn't work like that. When somebody who is not a lawyer engage you as a lawyer, and the person know that 1 + 1 is 2 in law, and the judgment came out and the judge delivered that 1 + 1 is no longer 2, is 3. The person will ask a question, he will criticize the judgment. Where the law said that in this particular matter, the only court that has jurisdiction, let me just use the issue of chieftaincy. The only court that has jurisdiction is the state high court. And the federal high court will not take up assume jurisdiction in adjudicating a matter that has to do with the chieftaincy affairs. And when people criticize that judgment, instead of people to look at the reason why that judge assumed jurisdiction, in a case that you don't have a jurisdiction, the judge will be elevated to a higher court. And you said that people should not criticize. You cannot beat a child and ask a child not to cry. People must criticize. Of course, people must have their opinion. The judgment is already there. Because when we are talking about criticism, if you watch previously, there are some judgments when you read the judgment, even if the judgment is against you, you discover that you don't even have a grounds of appeal. That's when judgment is obvious. This judge will give motion expert in the morning. The other judge in the other same subject matter will give another injunction. The other one will give another injunction. Injunction flying here and there. Others creating problem. And they said that people should not criticize. People should talk. People should criticize. People should raise alarm. Because this country belongs to all of us.
Now, I'd like us to examine the mechanisms, currently in place to hold judges and court officials accountable for misconduct. Why does it seem like those mechanisms are failing at the moment?
Well, it is the same thing. Because once a matter is presented before a judge is expected to give judgment in line with the law. In line with the law. So, where the judge failed to give judgment in line with the law, the judge has committed judicial misconduct, and the judge's conduct should be reported to NJC. That is the position, and the NJC should look at it holistically. I must give it to the CJN. He has been doing well with respect to that, because almost all the petition submitted to her in respect of judge's misconduct has been doing justice to that. People should report. People should criticize. People should raise alarm. You don't say that people should not criticize when a judge will now say that this white is no longer white, is now black, and say that people should not criticize. People should criticize. But the only thing there is that let their criticism be constructive. Let them go by facts. Like when you're writing a petition, you raise the misconduct the judge committed in line with the code of conduct. Raise it. And put it inside the petition so that they will know that yes, this judge aid in this ruling, he aid in this judgment, he aid in this order, and they should be disciplined and in line with that misconduct.
So what systemic weaknesses, make it possible for litigants or in some cases politicians to influence judicial outcomes, and how do we remedy that?
How we remedy that is, one, if a judge give any order, the order that is not supposed to be given, somebody file that application. So while the NJC is dealing with their own person, who is the judge, the NBA through a local practitioner disciplinary committee should also deal with the lawyer, especially the senior lawyers, the senior advocates. These are the people that are even committing all these things, because when before somebody you said as a judge give this order, somebody file that application, and you know that the application you are bringing before that judge is wrong. You are not supposed to file that application, and you file that application, they should be disciplined. Then two, if actually it has been confirmed that the judge collected bribe, the person who give that bribe, if he's a politician, should also be penalized, should be taken to the anti-graft agency. They should investigate the person and prosecute the person, so that nobody no soul should be left unturned in this particular issue. If you commit any crime, you should go in for it. We should have that political will. You see what is happening in PDP now. I learned that this one these are the problems caused by a judiciary. When this one will give this order, this one will give this order, this one, everybody giving their own interpretation. So if they will have the functional judiciary, there are some things that you don't do. When they are bringing this particular issue, said I don't have jurisdiction, or this particular order has been given by a court of coordinate jurisdiction. Not I'm controlling this court, you are controlling this court, this politician is controlling this court, making mockery of our judicial system. So this is where the NJC should come in. This is where the EFCC and ICPC should also come in and investigate the person that needs to be investigated and prosecute the person.
Now, Dr. Okpara, as we wrap up, what measures do you think can be introduced to make justice more accessible to ordinary Nigerians? And how can public trust in the judiciary be rebuilt after years of controversy?
One, there are some matters that should not get to Supreme Court. There are some matters that should not even get to Court of Appeal. I was in a Supreme Court last 3 weeks for a motion. They gave me November 2028. That was the day they gave me for motion. So now, and my client now said that I should just forget about the case. So the point we are making is that there are some matters, if they can amend the law, some matrimonial issues, simple contracts, all those matters, chieftaincy matters, they should start and end up at the customary Court of Appeal. Some will start and end up at Court of Appeal. Some will start and end at the High Court. They don't even have any business of coming to Supreme Court. The Nigerian Supreme Court is the most busiest Supreme Court in the whole world. What are they handling? Some funny issues that has nothing to do with, that is not supposed to be at the Supreme Court. Supreme Court should be a place where constitutional matters, issue of interpretation of the Constitution should get to. So if they can handle these particular issues at that level, you see that we have one quick dispensation of justice, and people will have confidence in the judiciary. Not where you file a matter. If you go to some courts, you will see 2006 matters, you see 2008 matters. They're not supposed to be like that. So, and when you're asking somebody to come The person will say no. And the two, once there is a matter that has to do with the government, because you can see that I file action against the First Lady, Office of the First Lady. That matter has not been heard. I filed matter against, there is one matter I filed against Buhari, President Buhari and the former Bello, Mohammed Bello, former Minister for FCT. I filed that matter. They gave me date 2 weeks after President Buhari handed over. So these are the issues. So if there are some matters that need urgent attention, you give them urgent attention. The ones that are not supposed to be there, you strike it out. And even award cost against somebody who filed that frivolous application before the court. By so doing, we'll have a quick dispensation of justice in this country.
Very well said, Dr. Maxwell Okpara, lawyer. Thank you so much for...
It is with profound, deep sense of honor and deep respect that I address you this morning at the opening ceremony of the 2025 All Nigerian Judges Conference of the Superior Courts. The assembly is not merely a biennial tradition. It is an extraordinary convocation of men and women upon whose wisdom, courage, and integrity rests the stability of our democracy. The protection of our Constitution, the preservation of the rights and liberty of every Nigerian. You are the one. Whenever Nigeria has faced moments of uncertainty, history has recorded that the judiciary stood firm as the stabilizing force of our national life. It is through the courage of the judges and their judicial pronouncements that tyranny has been restrained, constitutional order preserved, and the voice of justice amplified above the noise of division and despair. For this enduring role, I stand on behalf of the government and the good people of our country, our deepest gratitude and abiding respect. The theme of this year's conference, building a confident judiciary, could not be more fitting. Confidence is the lifeblood of justice. A judgment may be grounded in law and delivered with clarity, but unless the public perceive it to be fair, impartial, and untainted, its moral authority is diminished. The confidence of the people is therefore not an abstract aspiration. It is a living measure of the judiciary's legitimacy and the true currency of justice. We must acknowledge with candor that public perception of the judicial process has not always been favorable. Citizens have expressed frustration at delays, concerns about integrity, and anxiety over access to justice. These perceptions, whether wholly justified or not, cannot be ignored. They call upon us to reflect, to reform, and to restore. For ultimately, justice does not exist for the bench or the bar. It exists for the people. Their faith in judicial process is the foundation of our national stability. In this regard, I wish to reaffirm with the clarity and conviction the unwavering commitment of my administration to support the judiciary in fulfilling its constitutional mandate. The judiciary does not exist in isolation. It functions within a larger democratic framework which all three arms of government must work in synergy with the mutual respect and shared responsibility to the Nigerian people. The executive, the legislature, and the judiciary must remain united by purpose, even when separated by function. My administration believes that a judiciary that is strong in capacity, efficient in process, and uncompromising in integrity is not merely desirable, it is indispensable to the survival of our democracy and prosperity of our nation. We cannot build a just society without a fearless and functional judiciary. In this period, we have resolved to provide institutional and material support that will enable our courts to perform their duties with dignity, confidence, and efficiency. Support must be tangible, not ceremonial, and I mean it. It must translate into improved working conditions, modern infrastructure, and well-equipped courtrooms where justice is dispensed promptly and transparently. Our court must no longer be places where cases languish for years. They must become beacons of efficiency, where disputes are resolved swiftly and where litigants depart with renewed confidence in the rule of law. The modernization of judicial infrastructure remains a central priority. Technology is no longer a luxury, it is a necessity. The digitization of our court process, the adoption of integrated cases management system, and the provision of secured and reliable judicial facilities will receive sustained attention from this administration. A digital, transparent judiciary will not only improve efficiency, but also deepen accountability and public trust. We should not leave any of our courts behind in this transformation. Yet, bricks and mortar, or even digital screens, do not make justice. The true strength of the judiciary lies in the men and women who interpret the law and give life to its spirit. Our judges are the living custodian of justice. The caliber of their work defines the moral strength of the Republic. This is why judicial welfare, training, and independence are not privileges, they are imperatives. We will continue to support the National Judicial Institute as the leading hub for judicial education, comparative study, and professional development. Continuous learning and intellectual renewal must remain the hallmark of the bench. The law evolves daily, and so too must those who interpret and apply it. We must ensure that our judges are not only equipped to interpret the law in contemporary times, but also empowered to shape it in accordance with constitutional values. However, let us be clear, no amount of reform can succeed if integrity is compromised. Justice must never be for sale. The bench must never become a sanctuary for compromise. Corruption in any form or any arm of government weakens the nation, but corruption in judiciary destroys it to the core. When justice is compromised, government loses its integrity and democracy loses its foundation. With utmost seriousness, my administration stands ready to support every effort by the judiciary to preserve its dignity and eliminate misconduct. This is not a task for the National Judicial Council alone. It is a collective duty that rests on every judicial officer. Discipline within the judiciary must be firm, transparent, and consistent. Only a judiciary that cleanses itself can command the moral authority to cleanse our society. My lords, as you deliberate in the coming days, I want you to remember that the judiciary is not an end in itself. It is an instrument of justice of the people. Its moral power flows merely from the Constitution, but from the trust and confidence that ordinary citizens repose in it. A courageous, transparent, and principled judiciary is the greatest guarantee of freedom. A slow, compromised, or disconnected judiciary is its greatest threat. This is why I urge you in your discussions to be bold and practical. Go beyond agonizing old challenges and commit to actionable solutions. Ask the difficult questions on how we reduce the backlog of cases. How do we strengthen discipline within the ranks? How do we make justice more affordable and accessible to the poor, the weak, and the voiceless? Above all, how do we build a judiciary that truly remains the last hope of the common man? Distinguished judges, respected delegates, I see before me not just interpreters of the law, but guardians of Nigeria's moral conscience and architects. You are the architects of our democratic destiny. You hold in your hands the power to shape the moral compass of our republic, to ensure that no citizen is too weak to be heard and no authority is too powerful to be restrained by law. The task is weighty, but it's noble, and I assure you that this administration will continue to stand by you, listen to you, and support you in fulfilling this sacred responsibility. Let me conclude by reminding us that the story of our democracy is still being written. Each fair judgment strengthens the republic. Each courageous ruling preserves its soul. Let us therefore resolve that the chapter written in our time will be remembered for integrity, courage, and fidelity to the rule of law. It is my honor, therefore, and a great privilege to declare open the 2025 All Nigerian Judges Conference of the Superior Courts. May your deliberation be fruitful, your resolutions transformative, and may the judiciary of Nigeria continue to stand at the conscience of our nation and the guardians of our democracy. May God bless the Nigerian judiciary, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless you all.
So, having had this, what do you make of it? Drop your comment in the comment section, all right? I'll see you in my next video. There are so many updates I want to share with you. Thank you, and may God continue to bless you.